Recently we had our local elections and waste was one of the most debated and most talked about topics amongst the candidates as well, because it's hard to miss. You can see piles of garbage lying around Kathmandu everywhere, making its way out onto the streets, into the river. With urbanization increasing at a dizzying speed, our consumption patterns changing for the worse, we are just not able to keep pace with the amount of waste that's coming out. "50 years ago, we had this network, a very robust, decentralized network of men going around in their cycles every single day, alley to alley, screaming their lungs out, saying, "Khaalisisi purano kagaz phalam," every single day, searching for materials. But still, we have this network that's organically built that is still capable of recycling at least 40% of your waste, diverting it away from the landfills. I think there's an OECD report that says 80% of the work is informal. And informality is a reality in countries like Nepal and the global south. In Kathmandu alone, the capital of Nepal, we generate close to 1.5 million kilos of waste, and among which only roughly 4% is recycled, according to formal data, right? But with this network, right now, the way we're working, we're diverting at least 40% of recyclables from the landfills. And that's saving like millions of rupees. So it's a very cost-effective, efficient, and scalable business model. And that was validation enough for me that this platform, Khaalisisi, will be able to create value, not only for the waste generators like households and offices, but also for this sector, the waste entrepreneurs who are the actual frontline workers when it comes to circular economy and waste management in general. In 2017, when we started, our primary focus was on enabling the informal sector. By enabling, I mean digitizing the informal sector. The second focus area for us has been investing in data, especially to make informed policy-level decisions. And third would be on education. Our job here is to facilitate the logistics and connection between these different stakeholders within the value chain. So anyone with waste can log on to our website and place a request for their recyclables to be picked up according to their preferred time and date. And that's when a Khaalisisi friend nearest to the location is informed, the order is passed through, and they do a doorstep collection of the resources, and everything, all the data is secured, and people are paid for the waste. Then it flows through the value chain and ultimately ends up with the recycler. So that's how the supply chain for this works. And the Khaalisisi friends that we work with are the first line of contact in this supply chain. It was very important for us, for them to understand the value of being on the digital platform. So from something as simple as using a smartphone to using WhatsApp, to even carrying an ID card. Because for so many years they've been stigmatized as, people, the untouchables who we do not mingle with or engage with in any form. So breaking that friction between the rest of the society and this informal sector was very important for us. I mean, it's basic human need, right? That somebody values your work, values your presence. And when people started recognizing these Khaalisisi friends, they are the real recyclers, they are the real environmental agents. Now they themselves recognize themselves as, we're not just waste pickers or waste workers, we're actually environmental agents. We're recycling heroes in so many ways. So now they take pride in what they do. We introduce practical sessions with the students and introduce them to local innovations, because For us, it's easier to look up to examples in the Western world when it comes to innovations. But there's so many local innovations like the Kabadiwala network that have been working brilliantly in the waste sector, but they're so distant from the future generation. So just introducing topics about sustainability early on to education system is very important. What the informal sector buys depends on what they can sell later. And right now in Nepal, we do not have end-to-end value chain of all sorts of recyclable materials. For example, glass, which is 100% recyclable, we're still not able to pick up all kinds of glass waste because we don't have a commercial glass recycling factory in Nepal. Once we have that set up, we already have this ecosystem that can collect any sort of waste. So it's also about developing the ecosystem as we go. And another part of our service is also partnering with organizations that help us recycle certain items that are not popularly or commercially recycled, like cloth. One of the huge challenges lies for the sector and for Khaalisisi is that although we have the collection centers spread across Kathmandu, logistically speaking, it costs much more to retrieve some kinds of plastic in certain areas of the city. For example, plastic bottles, which are fairly popular when it comes to recycling, is still collected in limitation in the southern part of Kathmandu, which is Lalitpur, because we do not have larger aggregators who just collect plastic bottles. And also we need to bear in mind that the collection centers that we're talking about, which are spread across the city, are built on a very small size of land. So it becomes an opportunity cost for the holders, the collection center owners, to actually hold items like plastic bottles because they take up a fairly large space, and that's an opportunity cost for them where they could have stored in product that has a fast turnover like metal scrap. Because of such challenges, a lot of plastic waste that could have been easily recycled still ends up in the landfills. There are entrepreneurs who follow their passion. And then there are entrepreneurs who need to put bread on the table for their families. And these are the Khaalisisi friends of the world. Kabadiwalas in India, Lepoks in Indonesia, Cartmen in Brazil. And if we really want to take circular economy forward and globally, then we really need to be able to integrate this informal network, this amazing shadow chain supply of informal waste workers, waste entrepreneurs into the system. And that's only when we can really take sustainability forward and globally.
छैन पोरी बाटी चट्ट कपाल लाली उठेन